Yay, I'm 60. Well, almost 61. They say it's just a number. But let's be real. It's a number that comes with a few lessons. But it's a number that comes with a few lessons. As I step into the next chapter, there are some things that I want to make sure that I'm living well and getting the best out of my life. First thing is neglecting your health. Now, I have serious health issues because I suppose I didn't neglect my health earlier on, and now they're all catching up with me. So, but from this point onwards, I want to try to look after myself as the best I can. And one of the best things I do to keep myself healthy is walk. I try and walk every morning. Sometimes it's more difficult than others because I am in a lot of pain, and it doesn't necessarily affect me so much as when I'm walking, but it affects me after I've been walking, and it could last a couple of days, so it's an ongoing thing with me. So those are the issues I have with trying to keep reasonably fit. But I do, I'm starting to bike on the bike inside now a little bit. I've gotten up to 10 minutes for me, which is good. Another thing is what we eat. I've eaten pretty healthy most of my life. When you're in your 20s, I suppose, or studying, things are difficult. But I cook. I've always cooked. I've brought my kids up on having home-cooked meals. Of course, you have the odd processed food. That's just natural. I'm not saying, you shouldn't, but try to keep eating fresh vegetables and fruit. That's what's most important. Reduce your meat consumption down. I don't think you should avoid it. I think meat is very important in your diet. That's my point of view. You might have other things and might be happy without it. And those are the main things with everybody, is just keeping yourself fit and keeping yourself, but be careful. Don't overdo things, because the last thing you want to do, and I want to avoid, is having a fall or doing some damage to myself that's going to take longer to recover from. And that's what one of the main avoidance things that I want to do as I mature. Another thing is becoming set in my ways. I don't want to become a rigid old man who has one point of view and that's it, and not prepared to listen to others saying, I'm always right, I think that's rubbish. And, we, in the world today, we have a couple of leaders that think that their way is the only way and are not prepared to tolerate anything that is different or challenges their ideas. And that's really sad. I think we all have to be open to criticism, and we all have to be more acceptable and have that be young at heart. Understand that, the future is our children and grandchildren. We're coming into the third act of our lives, and so we've got to be prepared to let go a little bit and give them the chance to develop the world. So that's what I want to avoid too, is becoming set in my ways and be acceptable. Another one is losing touch with friends and family. This is another important one for me, because I found when I was diagnosed as chronically ill with chronic pancreatitis, I started reaching out to friends and family that I haven't spoken to or seen in years or even decades. And it's just a matter of just trying to make contact again. And I found that quite fun, actually, because you start talking about things that you did in the past. They're sounding old now, aren't I? That you did in the past, and the lives you had, and the changes you made, and that was nice. That was a nice time, and I enjoyed it. And even new people I have met here in the Netherlands, I mean, it's been difficult having contact with people. But it's, I mean, in the sense of making friends, especially when you're older and you immigrate to a new country and you're trying your best, you want to mix in, you want to make friends, but people have their own lives and they have their own contacts and they're very polite to you, but it's to make that loyal friendship is very difficult. So it's nice to reach out to older members, old friends that I knocked around with, and family. My family is really important, and I've encouraged that, and my wife too, that we're a very close-knit family. My wife's family is all here in this village, and that's nice. So no, they're very, very, very close. Other point that I would say that I want to avoid is living in regret. I mean, I can't change the past, but I can make peace instead with it. And there's no point dwelling in it, and own it. Own what you've done and say, okay, I did that. That was my fault. I accept responsibility for it. I'm going to move on. That's my biggest advice about that. And that's what I've done with myself. I lived with the guilt for such a long time about things I've done. But recently I have said, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to live like that. I'm not going to let that drag me down anymore. So own it. Say, yes, I did that. I fucked up. Now it's time to move on. I'm the person I am now because of those mistakes. Another major point I'd say is stop ignoring your passions and hobbies. Just because you're older doesn't mean you have to stop having ideas and being creative, whether it's traveling, painting, writing, do a pottery course, do something with your hands. It's always good therapy, always good fun, and you get to meet people, and that's an important thing. And it makes you happy. You've got something to talk about. You having a hobby is just such a fantastic thing. It keeps you busy during your day. I mean, I look at YouTube on cameras. That's just something I enjoy doing. And that's my sort of hobby. Another point I would say don't do is don't fear change. Life is always evolving, and so I want to embrace that. I'm not afraid of change. Technology, I feel that you've got to keep up with it. I think as you are, you're watching YouTube, you're aware of things, you're aware of smartphones, you're aware of computers, that we sort of evolved in them from the 90s and early 2000s. So it's part of the way we are, but things are changing even faster. And you see that with your kids, and I think it's important to keep up with things, and also with current affairs. I know it sounds boring, but the news can be so depressing, but it's good to keep up, to know what's happening in your environment and around you. Another thing I want to avoid is letting negative thoughts take over, and I think that's very. How can I say it? Letting negative thoughts take over. I don't want to waste my time on grudges, unnecessary stress. I mean, I am unwell, but I don't want to put me down because of that. I don't want me to stop doing things. I worry about my future. I worry what's going to happen to me. How sick am I going to get? Am I going to be able to deal with it? But so I've got to stop those negative thoughts and move on and try to make the most of it, turn it around into a positive way of living, trying to give you more energy so you can move forward. I think that's an important thing to do, is turn around, make something good out of it. So here we are at 60. I also have to thank you all for your fantastic comments and feedback. It has been just fantastic. You're a great bunch of people, and I really, really appreciate it. But I was very surprised when there were a couple of comments on the way I looked. Really, at our age, is that all we have to talk about, is how someone looks on a YouTube video? But hey, I appreciated the support I got defending me, and I hope I'm looking my best today, although that doesn't really matter. Here's to the journey ahead, and I hope your journey is as exciting as I hope it should be. Thank you for watching, and give us a thumbs up if you really like this video.